Jack Thompson stood by the large window overlooking the vast space station. Stars twinkled in the darkness beyond the thick glass. As Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council, he wore his blue uniform with pride. But after 6 months at this post, something still bothered him. "Ambassador Thompson, the meeting starts in 10 minutes, said his assistant, handing him a datapad. "Thank you, Tom," Jack replied, taking the pad without looking at it. His mind was elsewhere. Jack walked slowly toward the meeting hall. Along the way, a tall, four-armed alien moved quickly to the other side of the corridor. Two small green beings stopped talking when he passed by. A floating blob of blue gel changed direction completely. This happened every day. The other species acted afraid of him, and Jack didn't understand why. Earth was only a Class 3 habitable world. It was a nice planet with forests, oceans, and mountains. Nothing special. Not like the Class 1 Deathworlds where acid rain fell from the sky, and giant monsters hunted day and night. Inside the meeting hall, Jack took his seat at the large round table. Representatives from 20 different worlds sat around him. No one took the seats closest to him. "We will now discuss trade routes through Sector 7, said the council leader, a tall being with silver skin. Jack tried to focus, but his mind kept returning to the same question. Why did everyone fear humans? After the meeting, the council held a small reception. Jack stood alone with his drink, watching the other ambassadors talk in groups. "It's the anomaly, you know," said a deep voice next to him. Jack turned to see Ron, a reptile-like alien from a desert world. Ron was one of the few who would speak to Jack directly. "What anomaly?" Jack asked. "Earth. Your world defies classification," Ron said, sipping a bubbling purple liquid. "That's why everyone keeps their distance." Before Jack could ask more, Ron walked away to greet another diplomat. Jack moved closer to a group of alien representatives who hadn't noticed him. They spoke in the common galactic language, not realizing he could understand. "The human is here again," whispered a tall, thin alien with 6 eyes. "I don't know why they let Earth join the council." "Their world is only Class 3, said another with blue fur. "But the beings themselves, they're something else entirely. My research team refuses to study them," added a third. "They say humans are too unpredictable." "I heard a human once survived a crash on Deathworld crawl for 30 days with just a knife," said the 6-eyed alien. "Not even the natives of Crawl can do that." "The universe's greatest mystery," said the blue-furred one. "Why Earth is feared more than Deathworlds." Jack stepped back, his mind racing. This was it, the answer he had been looking for. Something about humans scared other species, even though Earth seemed normal. Back in his office, Jack turned on his computer terminal. "Computer, show me all files about Earth's classification," he said. "Most files are restricted," the computer replied. Jack frowned. "Who has access to study these restricted files?" "Science Division personnel only." Jack nodded to himself. He needed someone in the Science Division, someone he could trust. He picked up his communicator and pressed a button. "Lisa, it's Jack. I need your help with something important." He paused. "I think I've found a mystery about Earth, and I want to solve it." As he ended the call, Jack looked out at the stars again. For the first time in months, he felt excited. He would discover why Earth, his home, was the universe's greatest mystery. Dr. Lisa Gray worked in a large lab filled with strange machines and glowing screens. As the only human in the Council's Science Division, she had learned to ignore the nervous looks from her alien coworkers. "Jack, what brings you to my lab?" she asked, looking up from her work. Her red hair was tied back, and her white coat had strange stains on it. "I need to see the files about Earth's classification," Jack said. "Something weird is going on. Everyone here fears humans, but our planet is just a Class 3. Lisa's eyes widened. "I've wondered about that too," she whispered. "Come back tonight after everyone leaves. I'll see what I can find." Later that night, the science wing was empty except for a few cleaning robots. Jack found Lisa sitting at her computer terminal. I used my access code to find some interesting things, she said, tapping on the screen. Look at this. The screen showed a chart of planet classifications. At the top were the Class 1 Deathworlds, planets with extreme weather, deadly predators, and harsh conditions. At the bottom were Class 5 Paradise Worlds, perfect planets with mild weather and few dangers. Earth is Class 3, Lisa pointed out. Middle of the list. Not too dangerous, not too safe. So why is everyone afraid of us? Jack asked. Lisa clicked a different button. A new chart appeared, this one showing species classifications. This is strange, she said. Look at where humans are placed. On this chart, humans were at the very top, alongside species from Class 1 Deathworlds. That can't be right, Jack said. If our planet is Class 3, we should be in the middle here too. Exactly. It's a paradox. Lisa pulled up another file. According to this report, humans have survival traits that only develop on Deathworlds. The report listed human abilities: endurance running, temperature adaptation, poison resistance, wound healing, and psychological traits like determination and creativity. We're classified as evolutionary impossibilities. Lisa read aloud. We shouldn't have developed these traits on such a mild planet. Jack leaned closer to read more. There's a note here. Human resilience exceeds environmental explanation. Further study required. It gets stranger, Lisa said, opening a video file. This is from a survival test the Council ran 5 years ago. The video showed representatives from different species trying to survive in a simulated harsh environment. The Deathworld aliens did well, as expected, but the human participant did even better, adapting quickly and creating tools from available materials. The Council is confused by us, Lisa explained. They can't figure out why humans are so tough when our planet isn't that dangerous. Jack thought for a moment. What if Earth used to be more dangerous? Maybe it changed over time. I considered that, Lisa said, but evolution takes millions of years. Earth would have had to change very recently for that to make sense. Suddenly, the computer beeped. A message appeared. Unauthorized access detected. Someone knows we're looking at these files, Lisa said, quickly closing the screens. We need to be careful, Jack. This information is highly classified. Jack nodded. I need to talk to someone who has seen humans in action. Someone who can explain why we're feared. I know just the person, Lisa said. Commander Ron Walker. He fought alongside humans in the Hive War. If anyone knows why aliens fear us, it's him. As they left the lab, Jack felt both excited and worried. He was getting closer to the truth, but someone didn't want this mystery solved. Tomorrow we find Ron, Jack said. I won't stop until I understand why Earth is the universe's greatest mystery. Finding Commander Ron Walker was not easy. The reptile-like alien had retired after the Hive War and now lived in a quiet area of the space station. Jack and Lisa stood outside a small door in the residential section. Jack pressed the call button. The door slid open. Ron stood there, his scales shining under the hallway lights. A long scar ran down one side of his face. Ambassador Thompson, Ron said, his voice low and rough. I wondered when you would come looking for me. May we come in? Jack asked. Ron stepped aside. His home was simple but neat, with military medals displayed on one wall. You want to know why everyone fears humans, Ron said. It wasn't a question. Yes, Jack replied. You fought alongside humans in the Hive War. You must know something. Ron walked to a cabinet and pulled out a bottle of blue liquid. He poured 3 drinks. The Hive War, Ron said, his eyes looking distant. 10 years ago. The bug-like hive attacked border worlds. The Council sent a mixed force to stop them. He handed Jack and Lisa their drinks. I commanded a unit with 5 different species, including 3 humans. What happened? Lisa asked. Ron took a long drink. We were trapped on planet BX9. No supplies, no backup. The hives surrounded us. He pointed to the scar on his face. "I got this on the first day. Would have died, but a human medic named Bill patched me up." Ron moved to a window, looking out at the stars. On most planets, when night falls, creatures hide and wait for morning. On Deathworlds, night is when the real monsters come out. "What does this have to do with humans?" Jack asked. "Everything," Ron said. "When night fell on VX9, the hive attacked. My soldiers from Deathworlds fought well. They were used to danger. But the humans," he shook his head, "they were something else." Ron turned to face them. One human, Mike, was shot twice but kept fighting. Another, Anna, ran through enemy fire to save a wounded alien. They had no special armor, no extra limbs, no natural weapons, just determination. "That's why people fear us. Because we're determined?" Jack asked, confused. "No," Ron said. "They fear you because you're impossible. Species from safe worlds run from danger. Species from Deathworlds fight because they evolved to survive. But humans," he paused, "humans run toward danger. You don't just survive. You choose to face threats you could avoid." Lisa frowned. "But that's just courage. Many species have courage." "It's not just courage," Ron said. "After a week on VX9, we ran out of weapons. The Deathworld species made simple weapons, claws, teeth, poison. But the humans? They made traps, tools, and weapons I had never seen before. They didn't just use what evolution gave them. They created new solutions." Ron finished his drink. "That night, I saw Mike smiling while setting a trap. He was enjoying the challenge. That's when I realized what makes humans different." "What?" Jack asked. "Psychology," Ron said simply. "Other species adapt over millions of years through evolution. Humans adapt in minutes through thinking. You don't just survive. You overcome. You laugh in the face of impossible odds." Ron pointed at Jack. "That's why the galaxy fears Earth more than any Deathworld. Not because of what your planet is, but because of what your people are. Problem solvers who see danger as a puzzle rather than a threat." Jack and Lisa looked at each other, finally beginning to understand the universe's greatest mystery. The next day, Lisa called Jack to her lab early in the morning. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep, but she looked excited. "I stayed up all night checking the files," she said, showing Jack her computer screen. "Look what I found." Jack leaned in. The screen showed medical records from various species. "I compared how different species handle extreme conditions," Lisa explained. "The results are amazing." She pointed to a chart. "These show survival rates in different environments. Deathworld species can only survive in conditions similar to their home planets. But humans," she clicked to a new screen. "Humans can live almost anywhere." Jack read the data. Humans had survived in the burning deserts of Crag, the frozen wastes of Polaris, and even the high-gravity zones of Titan Base. "Without any genetic changes?" Jack asked. "With nothing but basic equipment," Lisa confirmed. "Other species need special suits, breathing devices, or genetic modifications. Humans just adapt." She pulled up another file. "But this is even stranger. Look at what humans do for fun." The screen showed images of humans rock climbing, deep sea diving, running marathons, and exploring caves. The Galactic Database classifies these as recreational suicide attempts. Lisa said, "Other species can't understand why humans deliberately put themselves in dangerous situations for enjoyment." Jack laughed. "These aren't dangerous. They're just sports and hobbies." "Exactly. What humans consider fun, others consider life-threatening." Lisa opened another file. "And there's more. Every spacefaring species in the galaxy achieved peace on their planet before developing space travel. Except humans," Jack guessed. "Right. Earth still had wars and conflicts when humans reached space. The Council finds this terrifying. A species that can build spaceships while still fighting each other." Jack sat down, thinking. Ron was right. It's not our biology that scares them. It's our minds. Lisa nodded. There's one more thing. She lowered her voice. I found records of something called the human test. What's that? 20 years ago, when Earth first contacted the galaxy, the Council sent representatives to live among humans. They wanted to understand if humans were dangerous. Lisa pulled up a video file. This is from their report. The video showed aliens observing humans in everyday situations. One scene showed a human child falling and hurting her knee, then getting up and continuing to play. Another showed workers rebuilding after a natural disaster, joking with each other despite the destruction. The report concluded that humans have unusual psychological resilience. Lisa said, "You face pain, hardship, and danger, but you don't break. You recover and keep going, often becoming stronger." Jack remembered his own childhood, falling from trees, losing games, facing challenges. Each difficulty had taught him something. "This explains so much," he said, "but I still don't understand why this makes us feared instead of admired." Lisa looked serious. Because the Council thinks this resilience makes humans unpredictable. You can't control a species by threatening them if they're not afraid of threats. The lab doors suddenly opened. 2 security officers walked in. "Dr. Gray, Ambassador Thompson," one said. "The Council requests your presence immediately. Your research activities have been noticed." Jack and Lisa exchanged worried looks. Their investigation was no longer secret. "We'll continue this later," Jack whispered to Lisa as they followed the officers out. "I think we're getting close to the real answer." As they walked to the Council chamber, Jack wondered what would happen next in their search for the universe's greatest mystery. Jack and Lisa stood before the Galactic Council. 12 alien leaders sat at a high table, looking down at them. The room was silent. "Ambassador Thompson," Dr. Gray, said the Council leader, a tall, silver-skinned being. "You have been accessing restricted files about Earth's classification." Jack stepped forward. "Yes, we have. As Earth's representative, I deserve to know why my planet is viewed with such fear." Murmurs spread through the room. The Council leader looked uncomfortable. "There are things best left unknown, Ambassador," said another Council member, a blue-skinned alien with 4 arms. "With respect," Jack said firmly, "I disagree. If you want Earth to be part of this Council, we need honesty." The Council members whispered among themselves. Finally, the leader spoke. "Very well. Instead of punishment, we offer a challenge. Prove your theories about human adaptability by joining an expedition to a Class 1 Deathworld. Show us what makes humans different." "I accept," Jack said without hesitation. 3 days later, Jack stood in the docking bay with Lisa and 6 alien scientists. They were preparing to board a research ship headed for Craghorn, one of the most dangerous planets in the galaxy. "Are you sure about this?" Lisa asked, checking her equipment. "It's our best chance to understand the mystery," Jack replied. The alien scientists wore heavy protective suits with built-in weapons. Jack and Lisa had only basic protective gear. This did not go unnoticed. "You'll die in that," said Mork, a green-skinned scientist with bug-like eyes. "Craghorn has acid rain and predators larger than your Earth buildings." Jack smiled. "We'll manage." The journey took 2 days. As their ship entered Craghorn's orbit, everyone gathered to view the planet. It was a harsh world of jagged mountains, bubbling lava fields, and twisted forests. "Our mission is to collect mineral samples from the northern region," said Verex, the expedition leader. "We'll stay for 3 days." As they landed, Jack felt excited rather than afraid. This was his chance to prove what humans could do. The ship's door opened, revealing a strange landscape. The sky was dark orange with green clouds. Sharp rocks covered the ground. In the distance, tall trees with black leaves swayed in the hot wind. The aliens moved slowly in their heavy suits. Jack and Lisa stepped out wearing only light armor and breathing masks. "Stay close to us," Verex warned. This planet has killed many explorers. For the first day, the expedition went well. They collected samples and recorded data. The aliens were surprised by how easily Jack and Lisa moved across the difficult terrain. "How do you do that?" Mork asked, watching Jack climb a steep rock face without equipment. "Practice," Jack answered. "On Earth, many people climb mountains for fun." On the second day, disaster struck. A massive storm appeared suddenly, with rain that burned through metal. The team rushed to a cave for shelter. "Our suits are losing power," Varric said, checking his systems. "The storm's electromagnetic pulses are affecting our technology." Within an hour, all the alien equipment had failed. Their suits couldn't move, their weapons didn't work, and their communication devices were dead. "We're trapped," Mork said, panic in his voice. "Without functioning suits, we'll die here." Jack looked at Lisa and smiled. "Not necessarily. We don't need technology to survive." Using rocks and fallen branches, Jack started making simple tools. Lisa gathered strange plants that she recognized as similar to Earth species. "What are you doing?" Varric asked. "Adapting," Jack replied. "Now let me show you why Earth is feared more than Deathworlds." Over the next 24 hours, Jack showed the stranded aliens how to survive without technology. He made simple tools from rocks and branches. Lisa created a paste from local plants that protected their skin from the acid rain. "How did you know this would work?" Mork asked as Lisa applied the paste to his scales. "I didn't," Lisa admitted, "but these plants are similar to some on Earth. I made an educated guess." Jack built a shelter using fallen trees and leaves. He created a system to collect and filter water. When a large predator approached their camp, Jack used fire and noise to scare it away instead of fighting. By the time a rescue ship arrived, the aliens looked at the two humans with new respect. "You saved our lives," Varric said as they boarded the rescue ship. "Without functioning equipment, we would have died." "Humans are good at making do with what's available," Jack replied simply. News of their survival spread quickly through the space station. When Jack and Lisa returned, they were met by the council leader. "Your demonstration on Crackhorn was impressive," the leader said. "The council has decided to grant you access to the full Earth files." In a secure room deep in the council archives, Jack and Lisa were shown ancient records that few had ever seen. "These date back millions of years," an archivist explained, bringing up holographic images, long before the council even existed. The images showed Earth across different time periods. To their surprise, the earliest records showed a much harsher planet, with more active volcanoes, stronger storms, and larger predators. "Earth was once a Class 1 death world," Lisa whispered, looking at the data. "Just like Crackhorn." "Yes," the archivist said, "but something unusual happened about 1 million years ago. Earth began to calm down." The record showed how Earth's climate became more stable. Many dangerous species went extinct. The planet shifted from Class 1 to Class 3 in a relatively short time. "This explains a lot," Jack said, excited. "Humans evolved for a death world that no longer exists. That's why we have the adaptations, but live on a milder planet." "That's one theory," the archivist said, "but it doesn't explain everything about humans." The archivist showed them another set of records, psychological studies of different species. "Most species evolved to avoid danger," the archivist explained. "Deathworld species evolved to fight danger. But humans," the archivist paused. "Humans seek out danger. You explore, take risks, and push boundaries when you don't need to." Jack thought about mountain climbers, deep-sea divers, and astronauts. Humans who chose difficult paths not because they had to, but because they wanted to. "There's one more thing," the archivist said, bringing up a final file. "This is perhaps the most concerning to the council." The file showed records of humans interacting with other species. "Most species only form social bonds with their own kind," the archivist explained. "Deathworld species rarely form bonds at all. But humans, we connect with almost anyone. Lisa finished, understanding. Exactly. Humans can form relationships with any species, even ones completely different from yourselves. You adopt alien creatures as pets. You feel empathy for robots. You treat starships like they have personalities. Jack looked at the images of humans working alongside aliens, caring for different species, forming friendships across biological boundaries. The Council fears this ability, the archivist said quietly. A species that can adapt to any environment and bond with any ally is potentially the most powerful force in the galaxy. Jack and Lisa looked at each other, finally beginning to understand the full picture of why Earth was the universe's greatest mystery. 1 week later, Jack stood before the full Galactic Council. Every seat in the large chamber was filled. Representatives from hundreds of worlds had come to hear his presentation. Members of the Council, Jack began, I stand before you to explain what we've learned about Earth and humans. He showed images of Earth, its oceans, mountains, and forests. Earth appears to be an ordinary Class 3 world. But as we've discovered, it wasn't always this way. Once, Earth was as dangerous as Craghorn or any other Deathworld. The chamber was silent as Jack continued. My species evolved in harsh conditions, developing strength, endurance, and problem-solving skills. But unlike Deathworld species, who evolved only to survive, humans evolved to overcome. Jack showed a timeline of human history. When Earth began to change, becoming less dangerous, humans didn't stop adapting. We turned our survival skills toward new goals: art, science, exploration. We climbed mountains not because we had to, but because they were there. Lisa joined Jack on the stage, adding her scientific expertise. Most species evolve to fit their environment, she explained. But humans change their environment to fit their needs. We build houses in deserts, cities in jungles, stations in space. Jack looked around the room, making eye contact with different council members. You fear humans not because we're stronger or smarter than other species. You fear us because we're unpredictable. We face problems that other species avoid. We form connections that other species think impossible. He showed the video of their Craghorn expedition, how they survived when all technology failed. On Craghorn, we didn't succeed because we were physically superior. We succeeded because we saw the situation as a puzzle to solve, not a threat to escape. Jack took a deep breath before delivering his final point. Earth isn't feared because it's dangerous. Earth is feared because it created a species that sees opportunity where others see only danger. Humans don't just adapt to survive. We adapt to thrive. The council chamber erupted in discussion. Some aliens looked worried, others interested, a few even impressed. The council leader raised a hand for silence. Ambassador Thompson, your presentation is compelling. What do you suggest we do with this understanding? Jack smiled. Stop fearing humans and start working with us. Earth isn't a threat to the galaxy. It's a resource. Humans see solutions other species miss. We build bridges between different worlds. He gestured to the diverse aliens in the room. Create a new classification for Earth. Not a death world that threatens life, but a crucible world that forges it. A planet that creates species who grow stronger through challenge rather than comfort. The debate lasted for hours. Finally, the council voted. By a narrow margin, they approved Jack's proposal. Earth would be reclassified as the galaxy's first crucible world. A special human advisory team would be created to help solve problems across the galaxy. As Jack and Lisa left the chamber, aliens approached them with questions instead of fear. I think we've changed things, Lisa said, smiling. For the better, Jack agreed. The mystery isn't solved, it's just beginning. Now we get to show the galaxy what humans can really do. In the weeks that followed, news spread throughout the stars. Earth, once feared more than any death world, was now seen as something new, a planet that created not just survivors, but innovators. The universe's greatest mystery had been transformed into the universe's greatest opportunity.